The Curse of Edom, a horror story. It was late at night when Michael stumbled upon an ancient, dust-covered Bible in the basement of his grandmother's old farmhouse. The air was thick, damp, and oppressive, the kind that weighed on your chest and made your breath shallow. The book's cover was brittle, with faded gold lettering that read, Obadiah. The moment his fingers brushed the fragile pages, a chill ran down his spine. It wasn't the cold draft from the cracks in the walls. It was something darker, something ancient. Curiosity got the better of him. Michael flipped through the pages, stopping at Obadiah 1:1. As he read aloud the words from the Bible, he couldn't shake the growing sense that something, or someone, was watching him. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God, concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, that an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. The basement creaked as if in response, but Michael dismissed it as the house settling. His eyes were glued to the text, drawn deeper into the words as they seemed to resonate with something dark inside him. His heart began to race when he read verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Suddenly, there was a noise, a low, guttural whisper. Michael froze, staring at the Bible, now gripped so tightly in his hands that his knuckles turned white. The whisper grew louder, swirling around him in a language he couldn't understand, but somehow knew was ancient. The light bulb in the basement flickered, casting erratic shadows that seemed to dance on the walls. Then, the room plunged into darkness. His phone, the only source of light now, began vibrating. A text popped up, but it wasn't from anyone in his contacts. The message read, "You've awakened the curse. They are coming." His heart thudded in his chest. He backed up, hitting the stone wall behind him. The shadows that had danced so innocently moments ago were now growing and taking form. Figures materialized from the darkness, their faces contorted in agony, their eyes hollow, like they had been consumed by something evil centuries ago. They whispered words in a language lost to time, their mouths moving in sync with the very words of Obadiah that Michael had just read. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Who shall bring me down to the ground? One of the shadowy figures rasped, its voice a low growl that reverberated through Michael's bones. Terrified, Michael scrambled for the stairs, but each step felt heavier than the last. The weight of centuries of judgment pressed down on him. The shadows were faster. They circled him, their whispers growing louder until they became screams, screams of betrayal, of pain, of the ancient wrath of Edom. Verse after verse of Obadiah echoed in his mind, as though something far greater than himself was reciting it from within. It wasn't just the past he was reading about. It was the present. He had brought the curse of Edom back to life. Thy men of confederacy have deceived thee, the shadows chanted, closing in around him. Suddenly, the Bible in his hand felt searingly hot. Michael yelped, dropping it to the floor. As the book hit the ground, the text on the page seemed to bleed, the letters shifting and twisting into something grotesque, something alive. Obadiah's prophecy had come to life, and its curse was no longer bound to the pages. The room grew colder, and the figures took form, soldiers of Edom, their faces twisted in torment, their bodies mutilated by a violence that transcended time. Their hollow eyes locked onto Michael, who was now paralyzed in fear. He could feel their anger, their betrayal, their eternal damnation. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. The words boomed in his mind, each syllable shaking him to his core. Michael's breath came in short, ragged gasps as one of the figures stepped forward, its skeletal hand reaching out to him. Its touch was like ice, burning through his skin with an unnatural coldness. Thou hast done it to thyself, the shadow hissed, its voice like the scraping of stone. Michael tried to scream, but no sound came out. He collapsed onto the floor as the shadows surrounded him, their whispers now deafening. The last thing he heard before the darkness consumed him completely was the verse from Obadiah, seared into his mind like a brand. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. The farmhouse remained still for hours until dawn broke. The basement door creaked open, and a gust of wind blew the now closed Bible off the floor. The pages fluttered open to Obadiah 1:21, and in the eerie stillness of the basement, a single word appeared, burned into the page. Judgment. No one ever saw Michael again. And the farmhouse? It was left abandoned, condemned by the locals. They spoke of strange sounds and shadows that still lingered in the basement, whispers of an ancient curse, awakened by the foolish, waiting to claim its next victim. And the Bible? It waits,